guys, welcome to my newest video for today. Today's video is going to be my weekly cinema review. So, Tracy goes to the movies. I have 2 movies to talk to you about and also a bonus stage musical review. So, try and keep these as brief as I possibly can because I'm kind of exhausted and I will probably fall asleep filming, so yeah, it's been a busy couple of days. So I'll just quickly first of all start with the Muppets, because this was the very first showing that I did today, and oh my god, words cannot describe how amazing this show was. I'm a huge fan of the Muppets, as I've mentioned, and this was just perfect. I loved the nods, like the throwbacks to, like, say, like the first movie, in particular. In the show, in the very first movie, you have when they first run into Sweetums, and when they're going back to pick up the rest of the game, and they drive off, leaving him at the car park again, so he has to run along after them like they did for the first movie. And I just really loved that. For me, that scene is just sort of like clinched how, you know, I don't know, it's just sort of, I just loved everything about this movie, and yeah, it was just so great to see the Muppets on the big screen, and just as revisiting the show itself, like when they had flashbacks, like with the, you know, they just said it's like, it's the Muppet Show with a very special guest star, and then insert name here, and there was, yeah, just so many, like, with that, and then they had this, like, the pictures, like, where, like, they were with the celebrity guest stars, like, you saw Julie Andrews, you saw, okay, I'm blanking on who the other ones were, but they had, like, a whole wall of them, and I know Julie Andrews was one of the pictures that they had, but, yeah, it was just magical, and so was the, like, I loved the songs, especially the one right at the beginning, which they also used as a finale, and, so what was it, you know, life's a happy song, when you get to smile and sit on, that's the only line I can remember, because it's just playing in my head, and it won't stop, so I may have to go and look it up on YouTube, but, yeah, the Muppets, it was just wonderful, as I've said, just seeing all the characters back, and I just loved how self-aware this movie was. Like, yeah, I think, what is it? Is it breaking the fourth wall? I think maybe when they're actually talking as if they know the audience is watching. I don't know, I'm sort of, so I don't know if that applies to the film as well. Yeah, I think it does. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm using that term in the wrong thing, but like, 'cause when you had Jason Segel's character, like, with the song right at the beginning, because he's like, oh yeah, we just said about it right at the start, and like, Waldorf and Statler, you had moments where they were like discussing the plot, and then they were like, oh, I feel like we've just given away a very huge, plot point, and it's like half the audience is going to be bored, like, we're going to bore half the audience, and then the response is, you mean half the, sort of along the lines of half the audience still being there, or like still being alive to be bored. It's just great actually seeing Waldorf and Statler, who are like one of my, or 2 of my very favourite characters on the Muppet Show. I just love, like, with all their quips and everything, it was just, yeah, and then also when they're doing the telethon, and, like, they've kidnapped Jack Black, and, like, to get him to host the show, and when he's trying to say, help, I'm being, like, he's like, help, I'm being held captive, and then, like, because they're up in the balcony and then they're just like, how do you think we feel after all these years? And but yeah, the Muppets, just pure awesomeness. I don't know, but yes, I want to see this again. I think I might go again next week, actually, just to see it again. Yeah, because I've been waiting for this for so long, and now I've finally seen it. And yes, the Muppets. So 10 out of 10. Probably would have been my third favourite movie of last year had I actually seen this in 2011. But needless to say, it's because I'm still keeping up with my top 10 lists of each year, and yeah, this one is number 3 on that list. So yeah, and then we have The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which the David Fincher's version. And so I had a very odd cinema viewing today. But yes, this was just as good as what I'd been hearing. And because I saw the Swedish version a few nights ago, because I was really impatient to see this, because I'd read the book and I was like, I really want to see what the movie's like, because everyone's been raving about it. And yeah, I was very impressed with how they did this. I mean, aside from, like, in addition to the cast, like, you had Daniel Craig, you had Christopher Plummer, who, if all else, I would have seen it just for Christopher Plummer, who plays the patriarch of the Wagner family. And, but because both films are very different. That's what I liked about this version. Like, they made use of the characters in different ways. They handled, I mean, the story itself, like the investigation into the disappearance of Harriet Wagner, like, that's obviously at its core, but how, like, when you watch it, you notice, like, say, how, like, the character of Harold Wagner, I think, like, they actually had, in the movie, in the Swedish film, he broke into his house to see if he could find, like, evidence of his, like, what he believed at the time, like, of the crime. Like, he believed that Harold was one who was actually, like, doing the killings, and so he broke in the Swedish, into the home in the Swedish version. But whereas in the film, like, this film, he actually sat down and talked with him. Like, I just sort of liked how the different changes in the, just like the subtle changes, like, and I actually did like how, oh, what's her name, Erica, I think, the co-editor, I liked that she had more to do in this movie, because, like, she was only mentioned in shown in a couple of scenes in the Swedish one. But I did like she had more to do in this. But all in all, like, I mean, both stories are excellent. And I don't know if I can say which one I prefer more. But I do agree with, I think it was Sarah who said the revenge, like, the revenge scene in this was really more intense than in the Swedish one. Oh, it was, like, you were just cheering, like, it sort of like just cheering for, like, Lisbeth, I think that's her name. The way she went about her revenge in this was just fucking awesome, how she had, like, totally turned the tables, and, especially the scene in the elevator, towards the end, I think it was, just before they got to the main, like, mystery. Yeah, that was, it's just so intense, just those brief moments in that elevator. And I mean, the whole movie, it was, like, you know, dark and I guess intense as well, but I really liked how, like, David Fincher worked with this. And yeah, I mean, anything to do with, obviously, like, violence against women and rape and, like, those type of things, that's where I, like, you know, it's uncomfortable for me to watch. like, as I said before, I have issues, like, enough issues watching a couple of episodes of, like, more than a couple of episodes of Law and Order SVU just because of the subject matter. And this one, like, it was just, uncomfortable when it got to those particular scenes, because I knew it was coming. Like, I was just sort of watching it and I was like, I know you're coming up now. And but it was like a very well done movie, and I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. So I'm just trying to think, either my fourth or fifth favourite movie of 2011. I haven't put it in yet, so, but yeah, just really good. Really like Daniel Craig as Michael Blomkvist. And I did actually like Rooney Mara as Elizabeth Salander. I can't really choose which portrayal I like more, because I liked Noomi Rapace's portrayal, and I liked Rooney Mara's as well. Like, they're both completely different. Like, Rooney Mara didn't try and mimic Naomi's one. Like, she made it her own. I think that's sort of else what I like as well. Like, when you're watching the two, they're both very different movies, but at the same time they're based on, because like they come from the same story. It's just like, I guess you say, like, the director's interpretation as well, but this is a very good movie as well. So let's go with the Dragon Tattoo. And just very quickly, I saw Sherlock Holmes 2 again. So I've already reviewed this, but yeah, just as much fun as the first time, which I saw last week. But by the time I got to this movie, I was pretty tired, because yeah, I was about 40 minutes into it. I was like, I don't want to go to fall asleep, because I was trying to stay awake. But yeah, it just kept me as entertained as how the first movie did. And yeah, so I saw it a second time, which I haven't done since I saw Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban back in 2004. Because the first time I went for that one, I went with my friend, because I was in year 11 at the time. We went to, like, the very first showing, like, the late night one, because I went with her because we were both obsessed with Harry Potter. And then I think the other time I took my brother, because so I'd actually had these, like, you got these Book of 10 vouchers which you could use in exchange for a ticket, so I had those. But yeah, I haven't done that since 2004. But I'm going to try and do it again. If, like, there's a movie I like enough, I'm going to go and see it a second time if I can. But anyway, those were my cinema viewings. And just very quickly, Annie, which saw yesterday, and I just loved it. I mean, Annie is one of my... actually, probably it would be... if it's not in my top 10, it'd be close up there. Because it's just such a charming story, and I just loved everything about it. You have... I think probably actually It's the Hard Knock Life is one of my favourite songs. And I liked how this production actually used the reprise of It's a Hard Knock Life, because I think most productions don't actually use it. So I did like that. I loved, Anthony Warlow as Oliver Wilbucks. I finally got to see Anthony Warlow in a production. He's one of my idols, and so, because last year I saw Marina Pryor in Mary Poppins, and who's like my all-time favourite idol, basically. And then this year I've seen Anthony Warlow finally, because I didn't get to see him in Phantom of the Opera, which I was kind of annoyed about, but because I went on the matinee and he didn't do matinees, so I was very happy to see that he was going to be, when I saw the list, like the cast list. And Nancy Hayes, she was awesome as Miss Hennigan. It was like her third. I think she's been in all three Australian, like major Australian productions, because I was reading like the background that they had of the car, like, because the very first production was like in late 1970s. She played Lily in that production. Then in 2000, she played Miss Hennigan, and then this third time round, she played her again. So, but yeah, and also you had Todd McKenney as Rooster, who was very good. I don't care much for him as, like, because he's kind of a how would you describe him? Well, I suppose you'd say a celeb. Well, he is, like, you know, well known because he does Dancing with the Stars here in Australia, which I don't care for. I don't bother watching. But I did like him as Rooster, and also what else? I mean, the girl who I saw who played Annie, Ellen Nicole, I think her name was. She was very good as Annie, because I'm kind of a bit envious of these kids who, like, you know, so much like opportunity, like getting to perform on stage with all these amazing people, and just sort of have to settle for watching, because like, I mean, I would have loved to play if I discovered that I did like performing back when I was, you know, the casting age of any, like between 10 and 13, I think that's, or even younger. But yeah, so I'd have to settle for one of the adult roles now. But yeah, this was very good. Even though it's like in the show, like it's not on very long, because we had Alan Jones, who's a like talkback radio personality, I guess, here in Australia. I don't get, like, you know, I avoid talkback as much as I possibly can, so I don't tend to actually listen to him on, like, if I can help it. But you know, for the brief time he was on here, he was actually pretty good. So even though what I found surprising, because, you know, like FDR, he was in the wheelchair, like, which he was in the show, but when they came out for the bows, he actually came out as himself. Like, he normally, because when I saw a amateur production in my, like, city here, which was, again, back in 2004, the person who was playing FDR actually rolled out in the, like, wheelchair to take with the bows, and yeah, it's kind of surprising that he just came out, like, normally, not in like, you know, as himself, not in character, which but yeah, overall really good production. Because I've been waiting since August to actually see it, because I think it has the date, 8th of August 2011. I've, like, had this ticket, essentially. But yeah, it's just even though it was funny, because everyone clapped when Anthony Warlow came on, because, like, I think he was the only one who got clapped for his opening entrance. But I suppose a lot of people are also, like me, who want to see him, and he got the biggest applause at the end as well. I think the closest person to get that much applause was Sandy, which I also actually got the plush toy of, but I'll show that in my update at the end of the month. But yeah, it's just, I just loved it. So my first musical showing this year. I don't know if I'll get to another one this year, but probably the next one will be The Addams Family, because that's coming out here in next year. Kind of weird to say that next year now, because that'll be 2013. Even though I've heard rumours that they're planning on doing a Les Miserables Australian production tour, either 2012, 2013, so I'm definitely going to that. Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm missing on that one. But yeah, Annie was awesome, and if you're in Sydney and you have a chance to check it out, I seriously recommend checking it out. So there we have it. That's my cinema reviews for this week, and a bonus musical theatre review. I don't know how my weekly reviews are going to come along, because I've only really watched a couple of things, because I'm currently listening to Marco Polo. I'm going through the audio of that, so my Doctor Who reviews are probably going to slow down a little bit, because I'm currently at episode 3 of Marco Polo, because I was listening to a couple on the bus, like train yesterday, but yeah, I don't know how they're going to turn out if I manage to watch anything else, but I think I'll still do the videos, but they just might be really, really short. Even though with me that could also mean they'll end up being half an hour long. But anyway, at this stage my next video will be weekly reviews. But anyway, until next time, I'll see you.